Top 10 5-second rules on Ellen. It's not a secret that Ellen can think fast, and it's been evident over the years. But are her guests equally fast? We're about to find that out in this compilation of the best 5-second rules.
To say hello.
Hi.
Let us know your favorite answers after viewing the video. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. Let's get it going. 10. Sarah Paulson. Ellen and Sarah Paulson kicked off the segment with a powerful duet of Cher's If I Could Turn Back Time and earned audience applause. Twitch asked Ellen the first question, and she had to answer 3 things an old detective says.
3 things an old-timey detective says.
And Ellen could barely think of anything. Sarah Paulson named 3 funny things Cher would say, and her answers were, "Give me back everything, I've got hair and also legs."
Got hair and also legs.
The next questions and answers proved that Ellen and Sarah got along a little too well. Ellen couldn't stop laughing at Paulson's answers, especially when she had to mention 3 things she says to seem cool. After Ellen answered the next question, the staff decided it was the right time to scare Paulson, and a clown appeared from under the table. Sarah Paulson fell to the ground in terror as Ellen laughed her lungs out. Paulson walked to the stage and hid in the box on the set and threatened not to get out. Ellen produces the show First Dates, and to celebrate its premiere, she invited a friend to play the special Love edition of 5-Second Rule. The show first premiered in the UK, and it was a big success, so Ellen and the rest of the team started one in the US. 9. Drew Barrymore. Drew is the amazing narrator of the show First Dates, and she's been privileged to watch couples meet for the first time and fall deeply in love. She didn't know she had a distinct voice until people recognized her voice from the show, even when she wore caps and sunglasses.
The time, when I'm under hat and glasses, they were like, "No, it's the voice. I know it's you under there."
For the special edition, Drew Barrymore wore a red dress to represent love and hearts. All the questions for the segment would revolve around romance and first dates. First up was Ellen, and she mentioned 3 places to go on a first date, which was easy for someone who's gone on many dates.
Places to go on a first date.
The movies, a restaurant, and a beach.
Ellen also did well on most of the other questions. Drew, on the other hand, was either late or mentioned more than the required answers.
Have dinner or cook.
Her most hilarious answers were the ones she gave for reasons why she needed to leave a date, and Drew mentioned 2 avalanches.
Oh my God, an avalanche, my dog, and an avalanche.
Drew Barrymore did well on the game, but not better than the next guest on the show. Apart from his activism and outspoken nature, he proved that he could also think fast. 8. Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon was prepared to go head-to-head with Ellen, who had a lot of experience after playing the game for a couple of years. Ellen almost successfully named 3 types of hats, but Nick could quickly mention 3 female body parts in order of his preference.
The breast and the face.
He couldn't name 3 famous Nicks apart from himself and one other known Nick, but he knew for sure that his nightstand had condoms and 2 Bibles. They had a couple of successful rounds before Twitch asked him to mention 3 females' undergarments, and Nick wasn't even aware ladies had undergarments. The game came to an end, and he probably lost by a point or so to Ellen. However, everyone went home with a box of 5-Second Rule to enjoy the game with other family members. A celebrity revealed on the game the person she would never want to collaborate with, and the reveal left Ellen and the audience bursting with laughter. 7. Cher. Ellen had to explain the game to Cher because she wasn't very familiar. She ran out of time on her first question, and Cher thought Ellen was only trying to make her look good. On the contrary, Ellen hadn't been to a coffee shop, and she didn't know what to find apart from coffee. Twitch asked Cher to mention 3 people she'd love to do a collaboration with, and her answer was hilarious. Cher said Adele, Pink, and not Madonna.
3 celebrities you'd want to do a duet with.
Oh, Adele, Pink, and not Madonna.
She also didn't do well on the other questions, and the segment slowly became a bit cringeworthy, which is quite rare for an Ellen show. Cher thought the game was long and not fun, and Ellen had to explain that it was fun for the audience to watch, and that was what mattered. They didn't get to answer a lot of questions because Cher was terrible at the game, and the 2 spent more time debating whether chocolate should turn on anyone.
Did we both have sweet?
Yeah, I said sweet.
Okay.
Chocolate doesn't. I just made that up so I'd win.
When Kanye played the game 5-Second Rule, he didn't get any of the answers correct. But let's have a look at how his better half did on the same game. 6. Kim Kardashian. Kim K started well, and the first round of questions was a success, and she started doing better than her husband at the game. Well, she couldn't mention any other reality show apart from Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Ellen had an early lead and Kim tried to redeem herself, but she couldn't catch up. Viewers were keen to note that she thought highly of Kanye and her kids. We also got to learn that Kim once had a talent with numbers, but it mysteriously disappeared after she got children. Kim also had a special gift of smelling cavities, but she never knows whether to tell the person or not. She confirmed that Twitch and Ellen were cavity-free, but Ellen advised her to always inform someone if she smelled a cavity. The last round ended with Kim mentioning her favorite sisters, and she mentioned Khloe, Kendall, and Kylie.
Khloe, Kendall, and Kylie.
As Ellen said, it's a shame for the others. We've seen Will Smith on our screens for many years, and the guy never seems to age. Wow, he looks like a very bright man, but let's find out how well he can do on a game of wits. 5. Will Smith. The initial questions were based on cars, and Will Smith was familiar because of his genre of movies, and Ellen is also a fan of cars. The first question was directed to Ellen, and she had to mention 3 things she did in a car. Will Smith burst out in a hearty laugh, but didn't realize how hard the game could get until it was his turn. Twitch asked Smith his favorite songs while he was in the shower, and even though he couldn't answer on time, he gave a tribute of one of his favorite songs by Whitney Houston.
Yeah, but it's like the, and I am telling you, I'm not going.
Ellen mentioned 3 celebrities that she had a crush on while growing up, and her list indicated that it was before she came around or out. Will Smith, on the other hand, couldn't mention 3 celebrity crushes, but his favorite was Farrah Fawcett. He was disappointed when the game came to an end, since he was enjoying it. Most of the time, Twitch asks the questions while Ellen and her guests answer the questions, but sometimes DeGeneres may ask the questions and 2 guests participate in the segment. 4. Sandra Bullock and Blake Shelton. Blake made it clear from the beginning that there was no need to be friendly because they were competing. Sandra Bullock was nervous, and she needed the game to start as soon as she finished her stretches. The first question was directed to her, and she answered correctly within the first 5 seconds. Blake also did well on the question, and the 2 were great at the game. Sandra could mention 3 judges on The Voice, and Blake knew 3 movies by Sandra Bullock. Well, almost 3 movies, because he mentioned Blindside, Speed, and Speed 2. Sandra was determined to win and raised the alarm when Blake pressed the button while answering a question, but Ellen said that he still won. Towards the end, Blake felt that the clock was going faster when it was his time to answer.
Go!
I feel like it goes faster when it's on me than when Sandra's talking.
No.
It's like you're leaning.
And Ellen wanted Sandra to win the game. Ellen denied because the argument was insane, and as usual, the audience members went home with a box of the game. The next celebrity guest has so many names, it's hard for anyone, including Ellen, to keep up with the numerous names. 3. Puff Daddy. Puff Daddy carried one of his Ciroc drinks to the show, and he made a toast before they played the game. He also had a special gift for Portia, and Ellen was disappointed that he didn't give her a gift as well. He may have had a little too much to drink before the game started, and Diddy's mind was in another world. Ellen was the first to show him how the game was played, and he said that he understood. However, when Twitch asked Puff his first questions, he spent the 5 seconds to think about the answers. He told Ellen that his counselor told him to always think about what he'd say for the next 3 seconds, so he needed more time to answer the questions.
One of the things that I've been doing with my counselor, with my therapist, is they say to take 3 seconds.
For the next round, Puff Daddy was given 3 more seconds, but he still couldn't answer the question. In his defense, Twitch asked him to mention 3 other terms for making love, and he couldn't mention anything nasty on daytime TV. The game seems typically easy after Ellen explains the rules, but several guests never get the hang of it. One of the worst was Sofia Vergara. Sofia was terrible at the game, and Ellen had to explain the rules a couple of times. Out of all of the questions, she only managed to answer 1 within 5 seconds, but at least she wasn't the only one in the history of the game. 2. Octavia Spencer. Octavia correctly understood the rules of the game, and Ellen thought for a moment that she'd finally met her match. Ellen was first, and she had to mention 3 things she'd lied about. She said that she wasn't a good liar, so Ellen just made up some hilarious things. It was time for Octavia to answer her question, and she completely forgot the rules, even after going through them again. Twitch asked Octavia to mention 3 things she thought after losing an Oscar, and she hit the button first before giving her answers. She thought she'd understand after the next round, but Octavia couldn't answer any of the questions on time. Twitch asked her 3 things she'd love to touch, and Octavia thought about them, but went for the button before she could answer the question. She didn't win, but she at least took home a gift from Ellen. And everyone else in the audience, of course, went home with a 5-second rule board game. Not many people can outwit Ellen when it comes to 5-second rule, but the next celebrity was close, or even better. I saved the best for last, but first I have a quick challenge that takes only 5 seconds to complete. So if you can leave a like and subscribe within the next 5 seconds, you'll get 10 years of amazing luck. Just try it. It really works. 1. Ricky Gervais. Ricky revealed that he went to the show specifically for the game, and he was ready to outwit Ellen. He didn't need any explanations, and the first question was directed to him. Twitch asked Ricky to name 3 other uses for the flap on his underwear. The segment went well, and they both answered most of the questions within 5 seconds, even though some of the questions were out of context. The whole point was to give 3 answers within 5 seconds. The hilarious answer was when Twitch asked Ricky to name 3 round things, and he said the Earth and his 2 balls.
The Earth. My balls.
Andy signaled them to end the game, but Ellen was determined to at least tie with Ricky, who was ahead by 1 point. Twitch asked Ellen to name 3 things which brought her joy, and she said that what Ricky had just said, animals, and her lovely wife, Portia. Thanks for watching, and have an excellent day.